Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing another video in my one palette series, and this color palette is all about fall. Now, if I'm going to be 100% honest, I'm feeling the holiday vibes right now. But it's still fall time, and so I thought I would pull out my Spellbinders November 2023 Club Kits of the Month, and I have the Glimmer Kit, the die of the month, the large die of the month, and the embossing folder of the month. So that was the Glimmer Kit. You can see it was a bunch of sentiments along with a coordinating die. This is the die of the month, some gorgeous florals. And again, this is the large die of the month, also featuring some really funky florals, which I think is fun. Now, the embossing folder of the month, and this is the regular embossing folder, not the 3D, it has this really beautiful floral vibe as well. So let's look at the palette. I have some Ivory cardstock, some Tuscan cardstock. I have some blue Spruce, Sorbet, and Cayenne. Now there's also that bright green lemongrass in there. I didn't actually end up using that. I kind of dropped that out. I thought I would need a green, but I ended up using that blue Spruce cardstock for my greenery instead, and I think it worked out beautifully. So for my cards, I'm going to use sentiments that come from this Glimmer of the Month set. You can see there are two groupings of sentiments, so you get a bunch of sentiments that foil at once, and then you can die cut all of them into strips at once too, which I absolutely love because then you have extra sentiments on hand when you're trying to put a card together quickly. So I went ahead and put this onto the Glimmer platform. I set the timer. Once the timer was done, I removed the platform from the base. I added my gold foil and some Ivory cardstock along with my shims and ran that through my Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And I have these two groups of sentiments that are hot foiled. Now, when I'm using a sentiment die like this that has a bunch of banners that cut at once, I like to run it through my die cut machine with the ends going into the die cut machine. That's because a die cut machine can kind of push a die in one direction or the other. And if it pushes either way, I want it to push kind of left to right on my banner, not up and down. And so that over time, I've experimented both ways, and I've just found that that's the way I like to do it. So now I'm going to start doing my die cutting, and when I have large die sets like this, I like to kind of sort everything out onto the cardstock that I want to use, and then just run all of the dies through at once. And once I have all of these die cuts cut out, I'm going to start kind of arranging and organizing on the work surface. So a lot of times I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. So what I'll do is start by adhering like berries or centers of the flowers or something like that. And as I'm working, it kind of gets me familiarized with the design of the die cuts, and I kind of find myself getting inspired. So you'll see me start with adhering the berries, which I cut from that Cayenne cardstock, and I'm layering up the sorbet layers over the top. The center of these flowers are really cool because it creates a debossed line to help you line up the centers on these larger florals. And you can see I'm just kind of tucking things in just directly on my desk. Now, once I have a design that I'm happy with, I'm going to create a backer for it. And I'm using these stylized ovals from Spellbinders, and I'm running that through my die cut machine to kind of give me a landing spot for this die cut cluster. Now, once I have that die cut, I'm going to kind of rearrange things on top of this oval to make sure everything works. And then I'm going to start adhering things down. So some of these I'm adhering directly to that ivory oval that I've die cut, and some of them I'm adding foam adhesive to. Now for these large florals, I actually took a pin and kind of added some curling to the petals of the florals. That's going to give it quite a bit of dimension on the card front, so it makes it a little more difficult for mailing, but maybe this is a card that you hand to someone instead. Then I'm going to take these two large florals that I've created and I'm going to add them using some foam adhesive to give them a little more dimension. Now, I really didn't know what color card base or kind of mat that I wanted to use, so I'm grabbing my cardstock and I'm taking this element that I've created and I'm placing it on all of the different colors of cardstocks that I've already used, and I landed on the yellow. But I'm going to go ahead and emboss that piece of yellow cardstock using the embossing folder of the month. I'm just following the sandwich recipe, as I like to call it, that is listed on the universal plate system for the Spellbinders Platinum 6 to do my embossing, and I've just run that through. And now I'm taking this floral kind of oval cluster, placing it onto that embossed panel. I've added my foiled sentiment, a few gold pearls, and added that to an ivory card base. Now for my second card today, I am using the Die of the Month kit. Now this is a really beautiful floral themed die set, and I've only used a couple of the dies included in this. I've kept this card really simple, so I'm not going to show you the whole process, but you're gonna see me use this color palette in a completely different way this time. I have large blocks of color here of that Sorbet color and Cayenne color, a little bit of that yellow poking through, and then I have a large embossed background featuring that blue spruce cardstock, which is one of my favorites. So there you have it, a beautiful fall color scheme in use, one palette, 2 cards, featuring some great products from Spellbinders. I love these kits of the month because it gets brand new products in my hands every month for me to play with. And I love that they include a variety of styles throughout their kits throughout the year. So it kind of pushes me out of my norm sometimes, and I think that's a lot of fun. Now, as always, I will have links to the featured products used in these projects in the description at YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check the YouTube description below. You'll also find a link to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com in that YouTube description as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I am so glad you're here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here on my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.